I'm James Edward Proctor III, son of Delegate Susie Proctor. As you may know, the session is in progress on Monday nights at 8 o'clock, so she unfortunately cannot be here, but she thanks you for the opportunity to speak to this group. Delegate Proctor is a lifelong resident of Prince George's County. She attended Douglas High School, and she received both her undergraduate and her graduate degree from Bowie State University. Delegate Proctor, to be brief, served for the Prince George's County School Board for school system for 34 years as both an administrator and a teacher. She was also the chair of the Prince George's Tax and Assessment Board. She was a trustee to the community college. She served on numerous boards and committees during her time prior to the legislature. She is proud of her many awards. One of her most recent awards is to be named Woman of the Year by the South County Professional and Businesswomen Council. Many of you have attended her meetings. You know that's when she has an opportunity to listen to your concerns. Some of her most recent meetings were in Akakeek, Dayton, Brandywine, Benedict, Chadsford, Pinefield. Of course, she meets with many of you in your private homes as citizens of concern. She really enjoys door knocking and meeting her constituents face to face, so she looks forward to doing that. That's one of the things that she does. She's also on numerous committees in Annapolis. In Annapolis, she is on the Standing Committee, which is the Judiciary Committee. She's very pleased that we were finally able to get through the stranger rape law this past session. She was proud of her role in actually moving forward the bill that the governor had vetoed on the Healthy Families Act. Some people call it the Sick Leave Act. So she was able to do that, so they overrode that particular law. Now, she is the sponsor or co-sponsor to close to 100 bills. The primary bill that she is, so she's either a primary or co-sponsor. As a primary sponsor, she sponsored a bill to support transparency in our silver alerts. It's when our older people go missing. She wants that to be, wants transparency in that. She also, of course, has supported areas that improve drainage in the county. She has supported holding our builders accountable. So when they're telling you there's going to be a swimming pool or a tennis court, that's actually going to be built. She's also supported a scholarship in the name of Michael Collins, who is a Bowie State University student who tragically was killed before he actually was able to graduate.
My name is Darren Hester. I am a candidate for Prince George's County Council District 9. And a little bit about myself, you guys don't mind, I'm just going to talk to you this evening informally. But a little bit about myself is that I served in the United States Marine Corps. And once I left the United States Marine Corps, my family settled here in Prince George's County. One thing about the county, we love the county. But the thing about the county here that we decided that we want to do, and I want to make sure that we are able to help the constituents here in the county. So we saw things that was wrong in the county and listened to President Obama's farewell speech. And what he said is that if there's something about your local government that you don't like, then you need to pick up and do something about it. So that's what I decided to do. Since I've lived a life of service, I served in the United States Marine Corps, I served in my community. I am a property manager by trade. I'm a vice president for a property management company. And I get to see all the concerns of the residents in the community, just like I do in my local community. You know, homelessness, joblessness, you know, unemployment, and issues of that nature. So some of the things that I've done back in 2011, I co-founded with the Superintendent Action Team, the job fair that's held every April. The first year we got over 50 people employed. What we did, we just went out and knocked on doors and get local businesses to hire the local people, you know, that was in our community. Also, I deal with a lot of domestic violence victims. And that's one of the saddest parts of my job currently, because I get to see them up close and personal. So there's a lot of things that I do. I work with domestic violence victims, homelessness, and I work in the homeless population. I help them to secure permanent housing. So what I want to do for our county, I know that Prince George's County, especially here in District 9, is very diverse. We have a very diverse community. We have people that are from the suburbs that go to work and commute, and our traffic nightmares here in District 9 is just horrendous. But then we have the rural areas where we have farmers and things of that nature, and we want to make sure that we help their needs also. So one of the reasons that I feel that I'm a very good candidate in this area is that I know those constituents. I have met with them. They go to my local church, and so they talk to me of their concerns on each and every week. So we put together what we call a Livables Community Agenda. In that agenda, we address senior citizens and their homeless needs. That we see a lot of times where our seniors, they're losing their homes because the surviving spouse is not able to pay the taxes. So that's something that I definitely want to do about our senior citizens and the job rate.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tamara Davis Brown. I am a candidate for District 9 County Council. I want to first thank the pastor and co-pastor of this church and this body of Christ for allowing us to be here today. I want to thank Whitehall Forest and the surrounding Akankee community for having us on this evening. Some of you may recognize my name, Tamara Davis Brown. That's because I ran for this position before in 2010. Came in a close second, but I'm not a quitter. I am continuing to be an advocate for this community. I have continued to support this community and work hand in hand with the community on a lot of issues. Some of you may have even gotten some emails from me because I am the person who tries to help you to understand what your local government as well as your state and federal government is doing and what it means to you and how it impacts you as a regular citizen, as a homeowner, as a taxpayer, and what those laws that we're planning to introduce and how they affect you. And so Akankee is very special to me because I'm a member of the Akankee PTSA. Anybody have kids at Akankee PTSA? Yes. All right, so I was the attorney that worked to help stop the cell tower from being built only 150 feet from the playground area, which I'm not exactly sure why that was even planned, but I worked with the Akankee community to do that. I also worked with the Akankee Academy to help with making sure that we preserve the TAG program at that school. And we're still working and fighting on that issue because there's a boundary issue. And why is there a boundary issue? Because Akankee is growing leaps and bounds, and everybody's trying to get their children in the best schools. And so my point, and what I like to say, and you'll see this on my literature out on the table, is that there are several areas. It's traffic and transportation, as Mr. Hester talked about, but schools as well as public safety and infrastructure. All of those areas, because of the growth that we're seeing here in District 9, we need to make sure that we put our infrastructure first. And so I'm a person that has been advocating from day one, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. What distinguishes me from all of the other candidates that are running for District 9 County Council is I have been in the trenches working for you, advocating for you, and trying to make sure that we make Prince George's County as a whole, but especially District 9, a better place to live.
I'm running for the County Council of District 9. To start off with a good point is I believe in good government and not good politics. As you look at the candidates, and what I tell everyone is look at the qualities and the credentials of all of the candidates. I've lived here in District 9 for the last 28 years. I began my career in 1985 as a police officer right here in Prince George's County. I retired as a deputy police chief. I was actually the district commander of this area some years ago, and I've had a lot of time to work with members of the community to address your concerns. One of the things that you need to look at is, I can't really talk about what I'm going to promise, but I can tell you what I've done. And one of the best things I've done, I would say, is prior to retiring from the police department, one of the responsibilities that I had was to help lead the reform of the police department. And what you see as an agency now is probably second to none. That required looking at how we train, looking at how we manage, and looking at how we hold our personnel accountable. What we have is a great public safety system that attracts people, but we have to do more to improve our schools. You've seen a lot of the talk about issues happening in schools. We have to work together to try to hold everybody in the system accountable to make it better. I mean, we have great teachers, great administrators in the school, but they don't have good accountability to make it happen. When I retired from the police department, I went to the private sector, managed a nationwide contract for investigative services, so I understand how the private sector works and their focus on profit and money. Left the private sector, went to private practice as an attorney, and I was recognized as a pro bono attorney of the year for assistance that I gave to the less fortunate in our community. As I guess Mr. Hester was mentioning, is I did a lot of work helping women and families in need. So when we talk about domestic violence victims and what we've seen, I represented them in the courts. Did that for a while. When Sheriff High came in to be the sheriff, he asked me to come back to the county to help him lead the agency. I serve you now as an assistant sheriff here in Prince George's County. So one of the things I have a very strong understanding of is how the government works, how the government should be working for you, and how to get the resources and the services that you need. We have a great county, but I think sometimes we have too much politics going on, and you're not getting the services that you need. When I serve this area as a District 4 commander, we have great families, great neighborhoods. You pay a lot in taxes, but you look at what you get in as services. And I'm not saying that you need to get any more than your fair share, but we do need to do more to improve the roads, to improve the infrastructure, because you shouldn't have to sit in traffic 40, 50 minutes to an hour to get home because of all of the congestion in the area.
I am Liberian Aki. I am running for the District 27, Maryland 7th, and I am a Democrat, so that means that I am actually running against Senator Mike Miller, who's been in office for almost 50 years. And talking about machine politics and ethics, I think that is actually a key position, the state senator, and so that is the reason why I decided to run for the race that I'm running for. Just a little bit about what I have done. I didn't just decide that I want to run for office. I've been involved with the community. I am a board member at the Preserve at Piscataway HOA just down the street. I was the board president for the last couple of years. I stepped down to do this, to run for office. When my son was attending Aki Academy, I was the PTSA president there, and so I'm definitely involved in the community. I'm the community activist there with Tamara Davis Brown. We go to the same meetings, same hearings, talk about the same things, fighting for our communities. So that is my background. I'm definitely very committed and have been very involved. And when it comes to the machine politics, I do see that is a huge problem. We've had some decent progress in the county when it comes to economic developments and other things. So there's some good things happening, but I do feel the political change, the new political culture, really getting rid of that machine politics, that is a really important next step. If we want to take our county to the next level, we need to start having open, transparent politics. We need to have actually competitive elections. We should not have the slates and sample ballots that the establishment puts out to decide our races, who gets to represent us on the county council, who gets to be our board of education member. We need to have true open elections in the primaries so that the best candidates win, not the ones that your state senator thinks is the best person. So that is the reason why I decided to run, and that's what I would change. I promise you will never have a slate or sample ballot from me to tell you how to vote in other races. I'm going to be the state senator, and I'm not going to tell you who is going to be in the other positions. I have been then on the other issues, besides the good government and getting rid of machine politics, I've been very involved in school advocacy, so obviously that will be a big priority for me. One of the big things is that, we need to spend money on the schools, but we also need to ensure that we spend the money wisely. So we should do an audit of the Prince George's County public schools, because we spend a lot of money on it already, and clearly there's some misalignment already where the money is going. So that would be another top priority for me. Thank you very much.
I'm running for county council at large. I am grateful for this opportunity to stand before you. 365 days ago, I started my campaign, Pastor Bragg, in a church, because my campaign is an unconventional one. My past has been a bumpy one. I'm a redeemed individual. I'm a second chance kind of guy. But for the last 23 years, I've worked hard to make Prince George's County better on purpose. I've been in most living rooms throughout this county, schools, civic meetings, representing small and large businesses, particularly minority business, trying to help move our county forward when it comes to the quality of life. My friends, I stand before you as one who've worked for the last 23 years to do one thing and one thing only, to move our county forward. I've worked on the legislative side, I've worked on the executive side. Of all the county council at-large candidates that are running, Calvin Hawkins has the experience, the knowledge, and the background to move our county forward. I stand before you, like I said, with a bumpy past, but I'm grateful to a God that gave me a second chance, and as I work and go around this county, I'm working to win each and every one of you over, win your support, and earn your vote. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Calvin Hawkins on a journey to increase the quality of life in Prince George's County. If you give me a chance to work with you, you will see what others have seen over the last 23 years, a public servant committed to being a servant leader to move our county forward.
Now, I am your elected clerk of the court here in Prince George's County. I was elected back in 2014 of June. It's a countywide position. And I'm also your Democratic Central Committee member for the Legislative District 27 at large. So I've been elected by you. It's one of the greatest honors that I have in my life. And one of the things that the county council deals with is public policy, administration, public health, and actually zoning, okay? And my job as the clerk of the court, our job was to preserve the integrity of each of these filings. We averaged 300,000 filings here in Prince George's County alone. So when I've heard another candidate talk about taxes and how our government is funded, we've had 50,000 filings of foreclosure here alone. We got 4,000 vacant homes in this county. We are $1 billion underfunded in education from the Kerwin Commission report. We need to expand our career academy training programs that can create sustainable jobs. So we need to open up the full menu of education for our children from a holistic standpoint. Okay? We need to do what other states are doing. 7 states have put in place to create tuition-free community college. Prince George's County needs to be at the forefront of that fight.